have just Faker nightmares. You wake up in a cold sweat, you're like, Faker's behind me.
I know, right? I'm like, even though I only have a mat on the floor, I think he's in the bed. Oh, Faker maybe in trouble here. Deathmark tries to clean it up for Ryu. Oh, look at the cleanse, look at the moves. Faker, what was that?
Faker with a huge play, the QSS.
I can't believe I just saw
he
that.
actually won that duel.
I can't
as
believe
SK
that happened.
Telecom
I'm gonna
just
lose my mind.
charges into the KT Bullets base.
Man, oh man, was watching these moments in League a blast. But it was an incredibly different game, and I'm no longer a fan of what it is now. This is a new game that isn't the League that I remember enjoying so much. Why did I quit League of Legends? Honestly, the answer is really simple. The game is honestly dog crap. Now, I could just end this video here, but I want to explain it a bit more. Since League of Legends has been a big part of my life for over 5 years now, and I want to address this topic with the respect that it actually deserves. When I was 13 years old, my friends at school got me into the game, and I was immediately hooked like crazy. It was basically my life. I woke up, went to school, came home, and played League until I went to bed. Rinse and repeat. I stopped hanging out with any of my friends for more than 2 years, and it got to the point where the game drove me away from my family for a little while. But this sounds like it was all bad, but the game actually was a really big driving point in my life. It made me realize I wanted to further my career in doing something more with video games, but most importantly, I was having a lot of fun. For the first 2 years, that is. Now let's break that down a bit. I started the game in late Season 5 and early Season 6, around when Kindred was released, and I had fond memories of playing dumb stuff I made up like Roam Fiora, Xin Zhao top, AD Zac top lane, and Lethality Twitch mid, and I had a blast at the time, because there wasn't really a thing known as healing. Now don't misunderstand me, lifesteal was still a thing, and enchanters did heal, not like Yuumi, but the mechanic compared to current Season 11 was non-existent. Only a few items really gave healing, and one keystone gave a noticeable heal, that being Warlord's Bloodlust. A single cloth armor didn't make tanks unkillable, and tanks didn't one-shot their enemies just because of their base stats and items. They tanked while the ADCs, mid laners, and top laners did most of the damage on the team. In Season 11, stuff like Maokai, Ornn, and Alistar become so tanky that most damage dealers just end up killing themselves off Thornmail before they even can kill the tanks. Back then, and if you watch almost any Season 6 video, you will notice a very different game than what we have right now. Back then, I saw challenger junglers with 30 CS at 10 minutes, but they were always ganking or doing objectives. Top lane wasn't the island that we know it as now, and bot lane was somewhat viable in the late game, with picks such as Jinx and Twitch scaling out of their minds, and having early game ADCs in case those were picked and you needed to shut them down like Draven and Kalista. And they were all viable picks. Now we have 5 picks in almost every role that just outshine the rest of them. The games used to scale until late game almost every single game, giving almost any champ a shot at winning. But now we are stuck in an ever-increasing early game meta, where the games end around 20 to 25 minutes. The game has changed and evolved, but not all of it was bad. The champs being added were much more complex and unique, with mechanics that we have never seen before. There were even different game modes such as Clash, TFT, and Blitz being added into the game. The runes were changed, allowing a lot more flexibility in playstyles. There is so much good in the game right now, but it cannot outweigh the bad. Was I ever really good at the game? No, not really. I was honestly really bad and I only peaked at Plat 4, which some people argue is good, but I'd argue it's really bad. I got promoted from Gold 1 to Plat 4, and immediately, almost 2 hours later, I was back in Gold 1. I was shit macro-wise and had terrible game sense, and I got extremely tilted whenever I lost for some reason. I was autopiloting through most of my games with no real effort to get better, just because every game I was blaming shit balancing, even though I knew deep down that it was just me messing up. Could I have improved and climbed higher? Sure, I believe anyone can climb in this game with enough effort and turning off autopilot, including me. If I just sat down and spent 10 games every day, 100% mentally all-inning the games, then of course I would see improvements and see results, but I just didn't feel the satisfaction was enough of a reason for me to do that. One of my biggest complaints about the game was the stupid MMR system. It was complete and utter garbage. And I'm sorry, that's an insult to garbage. When most of the player base is complaining about a very flawed system, with a lot of professional players about to quit the game because of it, you would expect Riot Games to actually do something about it, but nah, who needs that? They choose to ignore it and instead add crappy rules and guidelines for everyone to checkmark without reading anyways. No, seriously, I'd be surprised if anyone comments and says, I read all the way through these. I'm in gold, and the games take nearly 7 or 8 minutes to get into a game. 4 minutes being finding a match, and another 3 or 4 being dodges that happen way too often. We see challengers all the time have to deal with 20-minute queues, if not longer, then only to get dodges and wait another 10 to 20 minutes to find another game. I am sitting with an okay 52% win rate, and yet I am gaining 15 LP and losing 17 LP. This is ridiculous considering it would take me 7 or 8 games to get to the next rank, even though most people gain 20 LP at a flat 50% win rate. I barely have 50 games played and the system is already screwing me over. Challengers gain 12 LP and lose 20 at times. When I watch some of these videos and streams, it's so stupid to me. The systems are extremely flawed and in my opinion, the main reason my decision to retire from this game. I believe the game is really at its best when you're first getting into it, playing with other new friends, finding new champs, learning what they do, testing their limits, and overall just doing dumb shit that you find fun like full AP support comps with the boys. I think the game takes around 2-ish years to get used to and at least decent at, and takes many more to really master and get skilled at. The learning stage is the peak of the gameplay though. When you see an enemy playing a cool looking champ that you haven't seen before, and you decide to pick them up and try your hand at it, only to feed horribly, then proceed to play another game of them hoping to do better and make some mile plays. This is where the game really drew me in. I love this aspect of the game, the mystery of what will happen next. This is why when my friends ask me what games I would recommend for multiplayer, I will almost always recommend them League of Legends. Now, League is a finicky topic with lots of different opinions on it, but one thing we can all agree on is that the community is the worst out of any gaming community on the planet. Being the largest game in the world might have something to do with that, but the game can be frustrating and often lead to really annoyed players who just need to let their anger out on someone. Then there are the extremely toxic people who are just assholes just to be assholes and derive pleasure from it for some reason. I slowly turned into one of these players over the years and just became a horrible person to me and my friends. It actually drove me away from my closest friend for nearly 6 whole months. Thankfully, I somehow found a way to mend that friendship and we actually vibe every day now. For a while, I got extremely addicted to solo duo ranked, to the point where it was basically all I would do every day for nearly an entire year, the year being Season 9. I enjoyed seeing that plus 20 LP so much that it basically became a drug that I needed on a daily dosage to function properly. And it's really sad to see that not everyone can admit that this is an addiction and that they could really use some help. And at this point, I was not really enjoying the game either. I was just more so playing because it's basically all I could do. There wasn't really much else in my neighborhood to be doing. Whenever I saw my friends started to outrank me even just a little bit, I would have to try to outshine them, and I went in and grinded and grinded and grinded until I passed them in rank so far that they couldn't really ever reach me. I have almost 200 other games that I own, but I never played because all I do is play League of Legends. I would see a cool looking game on Steam, buy it, and just leave it alone because all I wanted to do was play League all day. But I'm really looking close now, and I would love to play through all of these games and make content out of them. I've been playing a really good game lately called I Am Setsuna by Square Enix, and I've been having a great time with it. Long story short, the game ate up a lot of my time that I'm not going to get back. What I will do going forward is learn from my past. There is an entire realm of gaming that I have not explored yet, and I plan on venturing into a lot of different new games. From JRPGs to MMOs and hell, even some shooters once in a while, and I really hate shooters. Hell, I even plan on playing the new Ruined King game that Riot is making, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. Do I regret playing so much League of Legends? No, not even slightly actually. I grew up throughout middle school and through all of high school playing League, and with my friends, the game brought us very close. We loved going home every day and hopping onto League and grinding our lives away. During this last week, which I considered my final week on League, I picked up a new main, Twitch. I spammed games on games of him and actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I played almost 65 games in this 1 week alone, and I actually enjoyed it so much where I considered not even making this video anymore. This is being added in as my last minute statement. It was a blast, and I would really quickly once again like to thank my friends who stuck with me through this entire thing. I met a lot of people who I spent a lot of time with and bonded over League. I just want to say, thanks to the boys that stuck with me through this entire thing. We made it, baby. We out. Welp, I've quit the game 3 whole times now. But this is the final time, and I can finally say that I'm going to be able to sleep tonight without having the urge to re-download the game. I've had my fun with it, but with anything in life, it has to end at some point. Do I really think this is my goodbye to League of Legends? Probably not. I'll keep up with the game from time to time by watching videos on champs, lore, and tournaments. But as for playing the game, I think I'm going to take a very long and well-deserved break from it. And no, Yash, this is the last time, and I'm for real this time. I made this video to be able to get my feelings out in the best way I know how to, by recording, editing a video, and making content out of it. Thanks for all the fun times, but as for right now, farewell League. It's been fun. Now, for what I'll be doing now that I have quit League. I'll be working on a series on this very channel where I play 12 games recommended to me by my friends and put them up against each other in a bracket tournament. And that will give me a chance to play all the games I have up on my backlog. For now, I just want to say thank you so much if you stayed until the end of my rant and venting about League of Legends. And I hope we kick off this channel by putting together a community where gamers all around can come together, play games, make content together, or just chill and have people to talk to. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and expect great content on the channel starting May 1st, 2021. Peace.